You're listening to the Everything Jewish 10 Minutes at a Time podcast, where you'll learn about every Jewish topic imaginable in about 10 minutes. Today's topic is tahini. Before we start, a quick Jewish-style apology for my Hebrew pronunciation in this episode. The sesame seeds are real, the history is real, but the voice is an AI voice doing its best, which feels appropriate for a food people either worship or misunderstand completely. If I mispronounce something, please imagine someone nearby saying it correctly and then explaining how their grandmother did it better. Tahini is a creamy paste made from ground sesame seeds, and it is quietly one of the most important ingredients in Jewish and Middle Eastern food. It looks unassuming, but it carries power. Tahini turns simple dishes into something special. It binds flavors, adds richness, and somehow tastes nutty, bitter, and comforting all at once. Tahini is not flashy. It is essential. If Jewish food were a team, tahini would not be the loudest player, but nothing would work without it. Tahini begins with sesame seeds, one of the oldest cultivated crops in human history. That alone gives tahini serious credibility. These seeds were valued for their oil and nutrition thousands of years ago across the Middle East and Mediterranean. Grinding them into paste created something shelf-stable, nourishing, and versatile. Jewish communities adopted tahini naturally because it fit practical needs. It was plant-based, filling, and adaptable. Tahini could be used in savory dishes, sauces, and sweets. It required no meat and no special equipment beyond grinding. Historically, tahini supported daily eating rather than ceremony. It was background food, which is often the most important kind. It fed people quietly. That practicality explains why it endured. Tahini provided fat, protein, and flavor in environments where those mattered deeply. It also traveled well across regions, adapting to local tastes while staying recognizable. Tahini did not belong to one dish. It belonged everywhere. That flexibility made it indispensable and deeply woven into food culture over generations. Tahini is famously central to hummus, but its role goes far beyond that. It appears in sauces, dressings, spreads, and desserts. Drizzled over vegetables, mixed with lemon and garlic, or sweetened with honey, tahini adapts effortlessly. This versatility makes it powerful. Tahini can be savory or sweet without changing form. That duality is rare. In Jewish cooking, tahini often balances stronger flavors. It cools spice, smooths bitterness, and adds body. Tahini does not compete. It supports. That makes it a foundational ingredient. You notice when it is missing, even if you cannot explain why. Tahini also teaches balance. Too much can overwhelm. Too little disappears. Getting it right requires tasting and adjustment. That interactive quality keeps cooks engaged. Tahini invites participation. It is not passive food. It wants attention. When handled with care, tahini elevates everything around it, quietly improving the whole plate without demanding credit. In Israeli food culture, tahini is everywhere and taken seriously. It is not just an ingredient, it is an expectation. Falafel without tahini feels incomplete. Grilled vegetables without tahini feel underdressed. Tahini sauce is often served generously, unapologetically poured over everything. This abundance reflects cultural confidence. Tahini is not rationed, it is shared. People debate brands, bitterness levels, and texture with intensity. These debates matter. Good tahini should be smooth, pourable, and slightly bitter. That bitterness is intentional. It balances richness and keeps flavors grounded. Sweet tahini exists, but savory tahini dominates daily eating. Tahini in this context becomes comfort food. It tastes familiar and grounding. That emotional connection matters. Tahini is associated with everyday meals, casual gatherings, and generosity. It signals abundance rather than luxury. That distinction is important culturally. Tahini is not special occasion food. It is everyday excellence. Tahini also plays a significant role in Jewish communities beyond Israel, especially in Sephardi and Mizrahi traditions. It appears in dishes that reflect regional ingredients and tastes. Tahini sauces accompany fish, vegetables, and breads. It integrates seamlessly into varied cuisines while maintaining identity. That adaptability mirrors the broader Jewish experience of moving, settling, and blending while preserving core elements.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's room of choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
There's a feeling a lot of homeowners share right now. Mortgage, always on time, lots of equity. On paper, you're doing fine, but then the insurance bill lands. Property taxes, healthcare, childcare, tuition. The math just isn't mathing. Unlock wants to talk about the squeeze American homeowners are feeling and what you can do about it. Start at unlock.com/equity. Unlock Home Equity Solutions, Inc., NMLS 2657081.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at shopify.com.
Tahini carries that story quietly. It does not announce heritage loudly. It simply shows up and works. In diaspora communities, tahini became a link to Middle Eastern roots. It connected people to flavors that felt authentic and grounding. As global interest in these cuisines grew, tahini followed. It entered mainstream kitchens without losing cultural meaning. That transition is delicate and rare. Tahini managed it because it remained useful, not exotic. People adopted it because it solved problems in the kitchen. That practicality is its secret strength. Texture matters deeply with tahini. Good tahini pours slowly, like thick cream, without clumping or separating. Achieving this requires quality seeds and careful grinding. Poor tahini can be gritty, overly bitter, or unpleasantly thick. That difference is noticeable. Once you have good tahini, you cannot unnotice it. This creates loyalty. People find a brand or maker and stick with it fiercely. That loyalty reflects trust. Tahini rewards attention to quality. It does not hide flaws behind seasoning. It asks to be respected. Mixing tahini also requires understanding. It seizes when liquid is added, then relaxes as more is incorporated. This moment confuses beginners but delights experienced cooks. Tahini teaches patience. It looks wrong before it looks right. That lesson applies broadly. Trust the process. Keep stirring. Eventually, it smooths out beautifully. Tahini has also found its way into modern health conversations. It is plant-based, nutrient-dense, and satisfying. People appreciate it as an alternative fat that feels indulgent without being heavy. That appeal helped tahini spread globally, but its popularity is not new. It earned respect long before trends. Tahini sustained people through ordinary days. It did not need marketing. Its revival simply introduced it to new audiences. That rediscovery highlights how traditional foods often outlast trends because they solve real needs. Tahini nourishes, it satisfies, it adapts. Those qualities do not expire. Even when used creatively, tahini retains its core identity. It remains grounding. That consistency builds trust. People return to tahini because it feels reliable. In a changing food landscape, that reliability matters deeply. Emotionally, tahini tastes like care and familiarity. It often appears in meals meant to be shared. It drips generously. It invites bread. It encourages scooping and lingering. That communal aspect reinforces connection. Tahini does not rush. It slows meals down. It creates pauses. That experience matters. Food that encourages connection lasts. Tahini excels at that quietly. It does not demand attention. It earns it. That emotional resonance explains why people feel strongly about it. Tahini becomes part of routine. Routine becomes comfort. Comfort becomes attachment. That attachment passes through generations without explanation. People simply know how tahini should taste. When it tastes right, everything feels right. If you are using tahini for the first time, remember this. Stir the jar thoroughly. Use lemon and water to balance. Taste and adjust. Do not judge it alone. Tahini shines when paired. If you are eating tahini, appreciate its role. It is doing more work than it appears. Tahini is more than ground sesame seeds. It is history, balance, and quiet strength in a spoon. Thank you for listening to the Everything Jewish 10 Minutes at a Time podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, forward it to a friend who might like it, or leave a positive review so others can find the podcast. And if you're listening on YouTube, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform to get new episodes delivered early and for special bonus episodes.